Let's talk about Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons because this was basically the offseason to where the Falcons said we're done with experimenting with quarterbacks like Desmond Ridder, Taylor Heinicke, and Marcus Mariota. They went out there and they signed Kirk Cousins to a 3-year deal, a massive deal, and they will also draft Michael Penix Jr. in the first round as well. I want to start off with their offense. Kirk Cousins has easily been one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL over the last couple of years. Even back to when he was with the then Washington Redskins, he was still a very good quarterback. I'm not saying that he's going to come over and deliver this team a Super Bowl. I'm not saying that at all. But he's a major upgrade over Desmond Ridder, Marcus Mariota, and Taylor Heinicke. And I love this move. And I know some people may say he's come off a torn Achilles. Why would you give him all this money? My argument to that is this. Kirk Cousins is not a very athletic quarterback. So a torn Achilles is not going to affect him the same way it may affect someone like Lamar Jackson, Justin Fields, or Josh Allen. He is not known to go out there and run all over the place and make crazy plays behind the line of scrimmage. He has some sneaky mobility, but Kirk Cousins is at his best when you can protect him inside the pocket and he can just deliver the football to guys like Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, and Stephon Diggs in the pass. I think that Kirk Cousins will see a lot of success with the Atlanta Falcons. The one thing with Kirk Cousins, he's always put up big numbers with the Minnesota Vikings. And when you was able to look at what he was able to do this season, it was pretty impressive. For the first half of the season, the defense of the Minnesota Vikings wasn't that good. And their run game was very inconsistent. And they could not run the football as much as they wanted to. And he was carrying that offense on his back with guys like Justin Jefferson, TJ Hockenson, and Jordan Addison. He comes over to the Minnesota Vikings. Now, I'm not going to come on here and say that Drake London is better than Justin Jefferson because he's not. I'm not going to say that Kyle Pitts is better than TJ Hockenson because right now he's not. But you have a lot of weapons around Kirk Cousins, and he can help these guys develop, and he can also benefit from playing with these guys as well. The Atlanta Falcons should run the football as much as possible because last year in the first round, they selected Bijan Robinson, the running back from Texas. And this rookie season, he had a lot of highs and a lot of lows as well. Bijan Robinson is a generational talent at that position. The thing is with him and so many other players on the offensive end, Arthur Smith hurt their development. The same with Drake London, the same with Kyle Pitts, but it was even more criminal with Bijan Robinson in his rookie season. Bijan Robinson was not using the goal line as much as he was in Texas. And this is a guy that has a lot of speed, a lot of burst, and he runs with a lot of power behind him. But instead, they put in Tyler Algier. I have no problem with that. Tyler Algier is a very good running back. Just a year ago, he had over 1,000 yards rushing. But to rarely use Bijan Robinson in the red zone and to certain media members were calling that out to Arthur Smith in the press conference made zero sense. Then he would put him in the goal line situations. And guess what? He would go out there and walk away with a rushing touchdown. Other situations, Bijan Robinson was used a lot on special teams in college, punt return, kick return. They didn't use him as much until later in the season, and it made zero sense. Certain games this season, Bijan Robinson only had 10 carries. And that really sucks because you spent a first-round pick on a running back. That is why Arthur Smith got fired. He could not get the quarterback position right, and he did not know how to use these players either. 1 week, Drake London would have 10 catches and 150 yards. The next week, he'll only see 4 targets. That was it. Mismanaging players. And you do have a better head coach in Raheem Morris, who has had some experience in the past of being a head coach with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and as an interim head coach with the Atlanta Falcons. And he's a very good defensive mind. And he's bringing over a young offensive mind. And I do believe that he's going to be a very good offensive coordinator with this team. And I'm talking about Zach Robinson. He spent a lot of time underneath Sean McVay. And it's part of that Kyle Shanahan tree. Those guys have been very successful in the NFL. Now, it's his first year calling plays. It may be a bit of a struggle here and there, but you have a veteran quarterback that can help you out with that. Basically, just replicate a similar system that Kirk Cousins have with the Minnesota Vikings, and you will be okay. You have 2 very good running backs in Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier. And I'm not saying don't use Tyler Algier at all. He is a guy that you can use on 3rd down. But Bijan Robinson can catch the football at the backfield at a higher clip, and he has more explosive ability than Tyler Algier has. So you're getting the best of both worlds right here. Use up Bijan Robinson and use up Tyler Algier as well to make teams stack the box, and then you can work off of play action. Kirk Cousins has been one of the better quarterbacks working off play action. in the last couple of years. And you have weapons in Drake London and Kyle Pitts that can go out there and get open. And I want them to move Kyle Pitts around even more. Look at what they did his rookie season, which was so bizarre with Arthur Smith. He put him inside the slot, at the tight end position, put him in the backfield. He stopped doing that in year 2 and year 3. Year 2 was not the best year with Kyle Pitts. His first season, he only had 1 receiving touchdown, but he had over 1,000 yards receiving. And he showed the ability to be a top receiving tight end in the NFL. They selected him in the first round. The thing is with Kyle Pitts, wasn't able to stay healthy the second year. He tore his MCL, but he used him more as a blocking tight end. That's criminal. That's terrible. He is not a blocking tight end. And his third year, he got outshined by Jonnu Smith. Now, Jonnu Smith is more of a complete tight end than Kyle Pitts, but it makes zero sense for you to have a freakish athlete and you rarely give him the football. And you can't say that Kyle Pitts doesn't get open, because on film, he would get open. Desmond Ridder did not see him, and Marcus Mariota did not see him as much either. It's a reason why he had his best season in that first year with Matt Ryan. And I do understand this as well. Did they force feed him the football? Yes, they did, but he was also getting open as well. It's the reason why he only had one receiving touchdown in that rookie season. They were double and triple teaming him in the red zone. You have to get back to that. And you also have Drake London, who is the #1 wide receiver. He can go out there and he can beat press. He can make the contested catches. Kirk Cousins is going to love him. In my opinion, he's a younger Mike Evans. This kid is special. He has the ability to be a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL easily. And when you look at his numbers within the first 2 years, they're very good. He had 905 receiving yards this season and 2 receiving touchdowns, dealing with terrible quarterback play from Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke. Desmond Ridder was so bad that he had more career turnovers than he had passing touchdowns with the Atlanta Falcons this season. What did Desmond Ridder in was this: his accuracy at times and his dumb decision making. But you have a guy in Kirk Cousins. He'll have a couple plays that make you scratch your head, but he's going to get you the football. And he's going to be more accurate than Marcus Mariota. He's going to be more accurate than Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke. The pieces are set on the offensive end, and you have a strong offensive line as well. You still have Jake Matthews holding things down at the left tackle position. The right tackle position is strong as well with Caleb. Chris Lindstrom is one of the best guards in the NFL at the right guard position. I love his game. You even have more firepower on the offensive end. They added in Darnell Mooney. Now, just a couple of years ago, he had over 1,000 yards receiving. He was the only consistent option for the Chicago Bears. But he is known to do one thing: take the top off the defense, which is going to help Drake London and Kyle Pitts eat up the middle of the field and help them eat up the short yardage gain as well. So this is a very good offense on paper if Darnell Mooney can stay healthy. He has a thin frame. He's dealt with injuries in the past, but when he has been healthy, he has blazing speed. And you also made a trade to go get Rondale Moore. You traded Desmond Ridder to get Rondale Moore. Rondale Moore can do the same thing as Darnell Mooney. He's just a little bit smaller. He's 5'7". Can take the top off the defense. He's going to play inside the slot. I'm not expecting for him to go out there and have a great season, but sometimes players don't have to go out there and put up monster numbers. It's about just taking the safeties away so guys like Drake London and Kyle Pitts can get those one-on-one opportunities with a linebacker. And you do not want a linebacker guarding a guy like Kyle Pitts in open space. I'm telling you this right now. If I was to put Kyle Pitts in that Rams offense with Matthew Stafford or with Kyle Shanahan, he would be a top receiving tight end in the NFL. This kid still has that talent. And I'm going to say this as well. If he can't stay healthy and he doesn't break out with the Falcons, you can let him go. But I still hold a lot of faith in that kid for him to be a breakout tight end in the NFL. He's just a freak athlete. So the offense, they're holding things down. And I love the move of them going out there and getting Michael Penix Jr. as well. Now, I was critical about this move because I wanted them to trade back into the first round to get another pass rusher. We're going to talk more about that when we talk about the defense in a couple minutes. But getting Michael Penix Jr., it is a weird fit right now. Kirk Cousins wasn't the happiest guy in the NFL about that. That's part of the reason why he left the Minnesota Vikings. But Kirk Cousins has to realize this right here. He's not going to be their franchise guy for the next 5 to 10 years. They're hoping that can be Michael Penix Jr. And yes, he is an older rookie, but you're expecting for him not to play his rookie or even sophomore season if Kirk Cousins can go out there and ball. The thing is with Michael Penix Jr., he gives you a lot of flexibility. If Kirk Cousins doesn't look the same, you can put him in the game. If Kirk Cousins is a very good, valuable trade asset in the future, you can move on from Kirk Cousins and possibly get a second or third round pick for him. or even a first-round pick, depending on how injuries may go for the next upcoming seasons in the NFL. That's a real possibility. We've seen that in the past. The Eagles did that when they drafted Carson Wentz. They traded their starting quarterback. Now, that was a bit of a different situation, but Michael Penix Jr. is there, and he should be the backup quarterback. He's learning right now, and he's going to be learning from Kirk Cousins. He's going to be developing in this system. The reason why the Falcons made this move is because what I've said many a times in the past and many a times in this video, they have been so scared of being into a situation to where a guy may leave that they may end up with another Marcus Mariota, Desmond Ridder type of situation. You have a guy, Michael Penix Jr., strong arm, sneaky, athletic quarterback, can make some moves inside and outside the pocket, but he is known to be an amazing pocket passer. Had the best arm in this draft class next to Caleb Williams, a great deep ball as well. And there has been a lot of concern about him in practice so far. He's been very inconsistent. The same thing is being said for Caleb Williams. They're rookie players. And he's not going to be able to hit that rookie wall because he's going to sit right behind Kirk Cousins. So I love them picking up Michael Penix Jr. Their offense is set. They may have the best offense in this division. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a very good offense as well if they can get a more consistent presence from their run game because they have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and Baker Mayfield, and their tackles are strong as well. But we will see. But I can also make this argument. Based off a week-to-week basis, Kirk Cousins is the best quarterback in this division. He's better than Baker Mayfield. He's better than Bryce Young. Bryce Young is entering year 2. The Panthers are still in that rebuilding type of process right now. And Kirk Cousins is light years ahead of Derek Carr. I'm going to say that over and over again. Derek Carr may be the worst quarterback in this division when this year ends. We will see. Then you look at the defense of the Falcons. Their pass rushing situation is not the best, and it hasn't been the best over the last couple of years. This is one thing that infuriates me a lot when people speak of the Falcons. When they missed out on the pass rusher in the first round, you had a lot of people in the national media saying this. What are they going to do? How are they going to sack the quarterback? How are they going to bring the quarterback down? It's the reason why they called in on guys like Calais Campbell and Bud Dupree last season. They have been able to consistently go out there and bring the quarterback down since Vic Beasley had that amazing season a couple of years ago. They haven't had a consistent pass rusher. Grady Jarrett is a very good interior defensive tackle. The same with David Onyemata, but I'm talking about edge rusher here. They always go out there and they find a way by doing a bunch of wall stunts, a bunch of twists up the middle, by just spreading guys around, bringing in the blitz, occasionally with an inside linebacker or blitzing the safety. They're going to find a way to go out there and bring in some pressure. I want to give Ryan Nielsen a lot of credit because their defense was their strong suit last season. They were 11th in total defense and 8th in passing defense. The defensive numbers would have been better if they were not dealing with pick sixes and dumb things like that throughout the entire season and just dumb turnovers as well with the offense in general. Hopefully they can bunker that down with Kirk Cousins and a brand new offensive coordinator. You have Raheem Morris as your brand new head coach. He's a very good defensive mind. Everywhere he has been, the defense has always been solid. He was a very good defensive coordinator with the Los Angeles Rams. He did a very good job with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in terms of defense. The thing that did him in was his treatment with Josh Freeman. Josh Freeman did not look the same with him as the head coach. He is taking more so of a hands-off approach with the offense. In this case, that's what he said in the press conference. We will see as the season unfolds. But he's going to have a heavy emphasis on the defensive input. And I love that because he's going to have to go out there and find a way to get pressure. Grady Jarrett missed majority of this season dealing with a torn ACL, but he's a very good player. You have Zach Harrison, young player. He had 3 sacks in the season. He's only 22 years old. He's going to be 23 when the season starts. I think that he can be a very good pass rusher for you. You have Arnold. Right now, he's their best pass rusher. 6 sacks on the season, 2 forced fumbles. I will say this about Arnold. He can go back there and put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Sometimes when you look at defensive pressures, that is more important than sacks because pressure will bust some pipes and it will mess up some quarterbacks in the NFL. And you're in a division right now with a lot of quarterbacks that don't like pressure. Baker Mayfield deals with it better than he did in the past. He still doesn't relatively like it. Derek Carr, when he is getting banged up in a game, the accuracy loses its touch. And the same with Bryce Young. You just put your hands up because he is an undersized quarterback. So you have to find a way to scheme up pressure. I'm not worried about that. Raheem Morris has done that in the past with some weaker defenses. This is not a bad defense at all. They're very good against stopping the run, and they're very good against stopping the pass as well. And they have more depth in that secondary for this upcoming season than they did last season. They also drafted Rome in the 2nd round. That was a head scratcher. Rome is a very interesting player. Just in case Grady Jarrett does go down, he's going to come in and immediately stop the run. In terms of just putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, I don't think that he can do that right now. He may not be able to do that into year 3. He's still a developmental player, but he fits the system with Raheem Morris. One thing Raheem Morris loved to have with the Rams was a bunch of defensive tackles that could go out there and stop the run and put a lot of pressure on the quarterback through the middle of the field. And it helped out the edge rushers. So we will see if the edge rushers can benefit from the good play of David Onyemata and Grady Jarrett. They also selected another defensive lineman in the 3rd round, Braylon Trice from Washington. Don't sleep on this kid. He can come in and he could be a very good sleeper player for the Atlanta Falcons. And he's coming over. And I think that he's going to come in day 1, stop the run, be a rotational pass rusher. I don't expect for him to go out there and get 10+ sacks in a season. But just putting bodies out there can help out the Falcons. And I fully understand this as well. If they can't go out there and generate pressure, you're going to be giving quarterbacks a lot of time. That's the scary part. But their secondary is so good. A.J. Terrell has been a very good cornerback over the last 2 years when he has been able to stay healthy. Jesse Bates was the best cover safety this season. 3 forced fumbles, 89 solo tackles, 6 interceptions, and 11 pass deflections. He is phenomenal. You also have Mike Hughes. The thing is with Mike Hughes, very versatile player in the secondary. He's not the best player to have in the secondary. You don't want him to be your number 1 or number 2 corner, but he is versatile. He's going to give you a lot of flexibility. He can roam around. Clark Phillips, the 3rd. 5 pass deflections, 0 forced fumbles, 0 interceptions, but he had a very good season. And this is a guy that's young as well. So they have good pieces in the secondary. The Falcons have to make the playoffs for this upcoming season, because if they don't, that's a complete embarrassment. You're not going to fire Raheem Morris after 1 season. They have done that in the past. They should have fired Arthur Smith after year number 2. You keep Raheem Morris. You let him go out there and figure things out. It may be a struggle for a couple games this season with the pass rusher situation. But I'm telling you right now, he's a very good defensive mind. I trust in Kirk Cousins to get them to the NFL playoffs. Can they win a playoff game? I don't really know about that. I don't want to say that right now. I want to see how the season really unfolds. But right now, you can make the case that they are the best team in this division. And every single team in this division has a weakness. It's the reason why this is one of the weaker divisions in the NFL. The Saints have a lot of veteran presence. They're bringing in some brand new offensive coaching as well. Can they figure things out with Derek Carr? And the Saints have always been a thorn in the side of the Atlanta Falcons. You look at the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers defense gave the Falcons a lot of problems. So part of that was because their quarterback play was so bad. Kirk Cousins isn't going to go out there and give you 3 interceptions in the game. You hope that's not the case. So there's a lot of things that can go bad for the Falcons, but I think a lot of things will also go good for the Falcons as well. I think that the Falcons are in the driver's seat to win this division. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are right there. They're really neck and neck. It's going to come down to that. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you guys feel about the Atlanta Falcons, and will they win this division? And if they make the NFL playoffs, can they win a playoff game? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, we want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. God bless.